realize this is the last session, so the number of people here are so less. I was supposed to talk at 11, something came last minute, so really sorry for that. But hopefully this session would give you some thoughts around why data is important for manufacturing industry. A lot of people think that it's all about all the high-tech industry which needs data, but after this you'll realize how core data is for a manufacturing industry. This is a typical value chain of any manufacturing industry, metal mining space. So from mining side of it, like it's some photos like underground mines, how it is taken, the supply chain side of it, then manufacturing, after that the FG side of it, and then how a customer consumes it, suppliers, like different, if you get buy power, and some utilities kind of thing. This is a typical value chain any manufacturing industry has. So, as see, my focus or any digital leader focus is to improve the top line and bottom line. So, how can we exactly work on that, right? The way we do it is these are the opportunities we always see, right? Whether the systems are digitized or not. So, making touchless gives a lot of data to us. That's a foundation layer. Once the data is there, then we look at the opportunities to save money. How can we save? By digitalization opportunities. And finally, how to make money, earn money by digital transformation. So these are the different opportunities we look at. Now, the question is how? What exactly we do to do that, right? So these are the enablers which I feel are very, very critical to any digital transformation. People, process, and technology. And remember, all of them generates a lot of data. So if you see that, all the things when it comes together, on the people side, like a lot of upskilling, adoption, there also you need data, right? Or agile, fail fast. I think it's a very, very important thing. Fail fast, I think it is generally applied a lot in technology industry. In manufacturing setup, it's a very, very different set of things which we do for that. And the technology side of it. So we realize that digital thread is a key thing. And to have the digital thread, you need a lot of data. Right? So this is how we do this. Now, typically any manufacturing industry, Industry 4.0 is the benchmark. If you really try to understand where exactly we are to generate those data. And it's all about how you collect the data, how you transform the data, and how you utilize the data. Coming to that, right, this is the best picture I could search to showcase the amount of data which is generated and it can be utilized. If you see, right, and there are three sides of it if you really, all of you are techie here. So the edge analytics is a very, very important thing which is played in a manufacturing setup. Lot of things which we do. And like anything which is related to manufacturing, the OT side of it, there is a lot of edge analytics currently happening. Second is the fog computing, right? Where we collect the data just next to the edge so that we can get the insights out of it. We don't have time to go to the cloud side of it. And finally, the cloud side of it. These are the three places any data can be consumed. And the data can be from IT systems or OT systems. So from ERP or from any of all the system of records application, or different things like the SCADA and all that. To make sure that, so it is very interesting, a lot of people feel that, okay, digital is a prerogative of only few people who are in department of digital. But what we believe is everyone in the company should understand digital and add value to it. And my prediction is few years down the line, there will be hardly people who will be working or calling themselves somebody from a digital team. Everyone will become digital. Like we have already been seeing that now people don't create models, they just drag and drop models and apply that in their jobs. That's the way currently happening in the industry. So to make sure at Vedanta, everybody in the company understands the importance of digital transformation, can apply their learning from their manufacturing setup, or whether they are in manufacturing, supply chain, wherever in value chain they are working, they can really map it back to, okay, what all things we can do from digital standpoint. So we have created this framework. If you see on the left-hand side, it's the entire value chain. So it's all about customer, supply chain, manufacturing, mining, R&R, exploration, partner, supplier, right? So entire thing. And this is the area where any of our employees work. What we did is, we created this framework, and if a person is working with the customers, they can just click on e-commerce, and just by double clicking that, it will give them the insight. What is this technology about? Uh, like what is the technology stack, Vedanta use cases, global use cases, where exactly these are used. So what we are trying to really do is taking out the digital transformation not happening in a room with few people, but everyone in the organization can contribute to that. It has really significantly helped us. How to identify? This is another interesting question. A lot of people think that, okay, these people are genius, and they come, they understand the problem, and they solve the problem. But if you realize, these are very, very common questions which we ask. I have listed down few of the questions which I generally ask when I go to the site. I'll read few of them for you, right? Like if a plant not performing to the rated capacity. So let's assume a plant is, we have set up a plant for producing a 1 million ton of metal. And it is only running at like 90% of its capability. Are we really generating value out of it? If not, there is an opportunity. So all these questions, if you just ask these questions, if you have worked with the manufacturing setup or mining setup, if you ask these questions and if they say, okay, there is a problem, that means there is an opportunity. So data people can then jump on these and really utilize this. These are the very common things which we do and generates a lot of ideas. And we are commoditizing this, so that means anyone and everyone in the company understands, okay, these are the kind of questions which we work on and really try to solve the problem. Few of the examples I have taken from my past experience. I'll give a very interesting ones. And I'm doing this just to give a little bit of perspective of a manufacturing industry, because very less people generally understands, right? And we techies, I also come from a technology background in past, right? We hardly go out of our setup, and we always just look at the data and work on. So I'll give some examples how we looked at the opportunity. So we, at one of the plant, we bought a new coke oven plant, and it was not performing to the capacity. The OEM has said that it can do a push of about 112. We were running at 107. We did lot of stuff. And actually, if you see the impact, it has gone to 118. It was more than the rated capacity. And how did it happen? We looked at the so if you understand, I don't know how many of you understand this coke oven. So coke oven, what it does, in a very layman's language, we get the coal, we convert it to coke, right? So then there is a lot of process around that. So when we take a coal, then first we have to add some moisture to that, then we have to stamp it, then we have to push it in a coke oven. After it is pushed out of coke oven, a coke is produced and we save it. M40 is the grade which is always looked at as the best grade possible. So that's a very basic about layman's language about a coke oven. What do we do? We looked at the entire value chain within the coke oven. We saw that the moisture was not proper. There was a cleaning, so you have to clean it also properly. When you push it, you have to make sure it is clean. Cleaning was not done properly. So there are all the small activity, and the way we did it is, it was a time and motion study. We looked at the entire value chain, understood the problem, put that in a framework, understood, okay, these are the gaps, this is the time it takes, analyzed the data for about 2-3 days, and this is the result. So it was a long process, about 2 to 3 months project. And do you know the impact of this? It was 100 crores plus impact, just by doing this. Another example is, this is another interesting example. In one of the plants, people said that we have less vehicles. So if you understand the plant, these are very, very big plants, about 5-6 kilometers big, and people have to move around the plant. They said that, okay, we need more vehicles to move around. The plant had said, okay, but let's look at the data. What we did, we put some GPS devices, tracked it out. We realized that at the end of it, so there was a product, one startup product, we put it there, and we were tracking it out. At the end, it figured out many times the asset was just lying somewhere. It was not utilized. Rather than increasing the number of vehicles, we reduced the number of vehicles, right? So because we changed the entire way we were having the contract with the vendor. So when the vendor was also not aware that it was not utilized well, and though he was giving enough diesel and all that. So we realized that data is how important. This is the second example. Yeah, this is another. SMS is a core process in a steel making process. So this was thing. Can we produce more hot metal from SMS? So, and this is another very manufacturing related, but in a very simple sense. After blast furnace, right? If you get a metal, you have to do some processing and really produce, send it to next level. We were taking certain amount of time to produce that. What we did a time and motion study there also. I will tell you the result of it. This used to take about 85 minutes. After this whole process, it started taking about 80 minutes. That 5 minutes resulted in 120 crores of worth of more production. And the question you will ask, okay, how did we do that? What we did the time and motion studies. We realized that plant was set up about 10 years back. There are many new technologies which has come. There are things which could have been done parallelly and solve the problem and really brought the impact. So this is another good example. Another one is a government changed the power policy. If you remember, power policy of the government was changed sometime back in 2018-19. Earlier it was, in a very simple sense, if you buy a power, you have to commit to government, I will buy so much of power. You will get it, I'm just putting some numbers here, you will get it at 8 rupees. If you ask for a power over what you have committed, you have to pay about 17, 18 rupees. It's so high. And if you don't consume, it's a loss for you because you have committed so much of power I will consume, so much of units I will consume at this particular rate. They changed the rule. They said that if you ask, earlier the rule was, if you ask more power, you have to pay 1 rupees extra or something. They said that now we will charge 17, 18 rupees. We realized that we have to be having a better prediction how much power is going to be consumed. There, we went back and looked at entire opportunity and understood, okay, this is, and predicted how much power will be needed. Based on that, we gave a prediction to power, to the government. We saved about 40 plus crores in the first step itself. So this was another good example. Finally, yeah, this is another example. A lot of people ask me, okay, from the data side of it, how can you decide, okay, to increase the top line of it? So in the company, we were making 10 types. I'm just giving example, 10 types of products. We realized that out of the 10, 2 or 3 products, suddenly the demand goes up, the prices goes up. So can we change the combination of those products very quickly? In manufacturing setup, you can't change very quickly. So what we decided, we will understand that we will scrap the data from market, understand what's the demand coming up, do some prediction, and based on that, have our product mix. It itself increased about 1% of the top line. This is these are the few examples which I wanted to give. And before my final say, I'm doing it fast so that you don't have to wait for long and get the context what I'm trying to share. These are the 8 things from my experience. If we do it rightly, you will have a great transformation journey. First is enablement team. Need to have the right team. Who is working? So making sure there is somebody champions. There are some nodes. These are the full-time people. There are some stewards who have the idea to solve the problem. Enablers, the people who become part of the team. So having the right team is a very, very important aspect. Second, ideation. How exactly you generate these ideas? Having those workshops is a very, very important thing. And this can happen like not only in workshops, sometimes a 101 session with the plant head, those kind of things, right? So ideation is another important thing. Hackathons. Sometimes we know, like we do hackathons a lot in the IT industry or analytics industry. If we know the problem and give the same problem to different teams and gamify it and let them compete to solve the problem. Award people, reward people to solve the problem. That's another thing which I have realized works very well. Explorathon. Many times there are many vendors, they come and tell you, okay, I can do this for you, I can do. So create a structured way so that these people get engagement opportunities and present their idea to all the right stakeholders. On the left-hand side, cultural transformation is a very, very important thing. Making sure people believe in the fail fast design thinking, agile. These are the right things to do. But we have to make sure the business and company understand that. Repurpose. Generally, what happens in manufacturing industry, you just don't have single plant or a manufacturing setup. You have multiple of them. But you have to make sure those are copy-pasted. If you have done something really good at one place, we should quickly copy-paste another. Generally, as a human, the phenomena is that, okay, I am the first one to discover something. What we have done is, we have started rewarding people who are doing repurpose. Not only people who have done that first time and got it repurposed, but also people who have copy-pasted. That's another important thing. Value and outcome mindset. Never spend a money if you think there is no value going to come out. Right? Think like have that owner's mind. Making sure if it was yours money, would you spend money on that? Or if you have hundreds of opportunity, which are the 10 you want to pick to really spend money? So that value and outcome mindset, ROI is a very, very important thing. I have seen companies having a ROI philosophy of 1 year. Few I have seen as just 6 months. It all depends on you, right? You can put it in a 4 blocker, how fast you can do and what is the biggest value. And the blocker which is more significant, start working from that. And finally, review, cadence, and governance. This is another very important thing. If you don't have a proper cadence, that somebody monitors it, somebody is checking on the value, right? So these are the ways I have seen. It really helps to be having a significant. Thanks. I think that's all from my side. I wanted to do it fast so that you guys don't have to wait for pretty long.